An uphill road that you're facing, and I guess you already know that. But it can be done, and where there's a will, there's a way. And if people who already own property start managing that property cooperatively and working the property collectively, you know, like if you get a group of 10 families who say, okay, I'm going to tear up our lawn and plant a garden instead. You know, and then you have, let's say, the kids from those 10 families becomes a work crew that goes around to those 10 houses and manages the garden on all those properties. You're going to have enough food to feed, like, you know, 50 to 100 people. So it's all about the quality of the management. The quality of the management is the thing. So many people, so many organizations had gone into West Africa and Congo and tried to start different community programs, and they all failed. Every single one of them failed until this working villages concept. Because Ashto had the right mix of being sensitive to local cultural values and also very, very expert economic management. And he basically, the section that appears in our plan on economic principles is basically his manual. It was his master's thesis for his degree in economics. So we rewrote it and, you know, edited it for our purposes. But, you know, we can also get you the original. You can look through it. The key is the value theory, the labor value theory. Or actually, I think it's called labor theory of value, which is basically Marxian economics of Karl Marx. If you divorce the economic theories from his political theories, it's actually pretty useful. And you can, we use Schumacher's vision of how to implement labor theory of value. And he gives a very good, Schumacher was the guy who first saw that natural resources are a different class of goods from manufactured goods. Believe it or not, all economics up to that point treats the two as exactly the same, as infinitely renewable resources. In fact, the term non-renewable resource comes from Schumacher. So by combining the economic principles of Marx and Schumacher with the social principles of Gandhi and the spiritual principles of Srila Prabhupada, we come up with a design for a community that is so powerful that it can actually defeat a sick community around it by establishing a wall of protectionism within which there is a labor theory of value economy based on an alternative currency, which would be the production of the agricultural production of the land that you hold. So if you can establish this, if you can find an innovative way to establish this in America, you will cause a huge breakthrough that needs to happen and will benefit many, maybe even millions of people, not only in the US, but also Canada and Europe. I'm not smart enough in economic theory to do this. I can see that if you have enough seed money to buy your land, then you can get started. But we need to have an even more creative solution as far as the US and Canada and Western Europe are concerned. So if you can come up with this, this would be the breakthrough that would allow this bridge community thing to grow exponentially, like on the ground with real people in today's environment. And this is very much needed. So if you come up with this plan, You know, use whatever resources you have, and we'll make whatever resources we have available. Then that would be tremendous service that would be so beneficial for everyone. More questions?
David Lugan posted a message to Javier. I offer my full-time help to make a bridge community happen. He's gonna contact Javier. And
Good.
then Steve,
These are the kind of connections we want to see.
Steve is saying, my dad has 40 acres, total occupants, 2 people and 2 dogs.
It's up in Canada.
It's in Cape Breton.
Actually, it's a different Steve.
Actually, land is quite cheap there.
Is that Steve up in Canada or?
I don't know. I think it's Steve. No, I don't know which Steve.
Cape.
The other one, the husband of Jennifer, is Steven, right? Not Steve. Is the same? Oh, okay. Oh. I don't know.
Well, anyway, what time is it now?
Question from Javier. It's 8:40.
Oh. Preached the whole time, huh?
Javier says, thank you very much, Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. I have family and friends in local and national politics and also a grant writer. I plan on getting people to contribute future shares and getting grant money to start the project. Do you think this is practical?
Very practical. Selling shares in a community is going to be a hot business, maybe not now, but by the end of this year. So if you use the time between now and the end of the year to get organized, you won't have any problem selling those shares, believe me. People are going to be cashing in their chips and taking whatever opportunity they have to live cooperatively, because all the existing systems are going to fail.
I would like to comment on that. All of these communities will need websites and will need web presence. It's essential to connect people together. So we're already working on this social networking platform to create node social networks so that we can interconnect and at the same time be separated. This, I think the devotees have enough time figuring out the community itself, the land, the growing stuff and like that. And they should think of taking a little bit on support on the internet side, because we really have lots of experience. And
yeah. Well, what we can do is that we could make like a generic template for a social networking site that can be customized for a specific project.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. That's it.
Okay. So, let's see. Still pretty high. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Prahlada Dayine. Hiranyakashipur Vakshaha. Kala Kalae. Ito Nrishingho Parato Nrishingho. Yato Jato Jamitato Nrishingho. Bahir Nrsimho Hridaye Nrsimho Narasimham Aling Saranam Prapadye Tavakara Kamalavare Nakham Adbhuta Sringam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubringam Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare